Namaste. Good morning. Good day. We gonna explore some yin and give the body an opportunity to flow this morning. I'm glad you could join me and treat yourself to some nourishment. I'm all bundled up because we have about 4 inches of snow on the ground. And I'm excited to kind of tuck in. All right, let's settle into seat. You can, of course, gather any other props during this opening transition that you might need. Some bricks, some blankets, maybe a pillow if you don't have a bolster. And once you arrive in your seat, eyes can close. And just be. And in this moment, there is no right or wrong way to be. Just let go of any expectations. Be as you are now. You may be surprised at what you find in these first few moments, or you may have experienced the stirring within throughout the last day. Hopefully sleep provided some break in that, but just recognize what's within you and what you're working with today. And we'll set intention. I'd like to speak a little bit more to why we use intention. We use it a lot in my classes. It's one of my favorite ways to practice. I was listening to a podcast and received some extra wisdom I wanted to share about. It's not so much that we do the practice, that we come here on the mat. Of course, that's important. However, the how we practice is much more important than the when or the how much. The words of wisdom I wanted to pass on were, what you practice is what you grow. What you practice is what you grow. And if we come to our mat still stewing in frustration or tension or worry, that's what we're practicing. But if we make the conscious intention to release our grip on what might be still flowing through us, but anchor ourselves to a point of presence or a point of peace. Whatever your intention might be, let that be something to embody, and something to practice in every breath and every moment here on the mat. So lightly meditate, reflect on what it is you want to bring into your day. What is it that you want to bring into this world? And do your best not to run the brain, flipping through options, and just try and receive that intuitive wisdom, that answer of truth from within. Maybe it doesn't come in words. Maybe it's just a feeling. Once you have that intention, just repeat it or feel it. And we'll use each passing breath to integrate a little further. With your attention on the breath now, gently deepen. Allow the low belly to expand and contract. It might help to bring the hands to that low belly. Just feel the breath deep and slow within you. Even here, the mind may wander. And bring it back to that intention that you invite in on the breath. And integrate every exhalation. Arriving further into the moment and embodying that intention bit by bit, more and more. On your next breath in, bring the hands up towards the heart. Palms can press together or stack on the heart. And let's open our practice with our gentle toning, a hum. Let's take a deep breath in and release it all the way out, exhaling. Inhale and we'll tone. State that intention. Embody it here. And bring that feeling with you. Head can bow in towards the heart, releasing the chin. Hands can release down to the lap and legs. We'll stay here and just half moon sway with the head, lengthening out the back of the neck and stretching into the sides. Breathing nice and deep, nice and slow. And as the ear drops towards one shoulder, invite that same arm, one below the head, to wrap up and around. Just allow gravity to do the work as you rest the hand on the side of the head or face. And that opposite arm, the one that's still down by the legs, can reach out at a diagonal. A little nerve gliding here. Always welcome to peek at me if you need some visual guidance. We'll wiggle those extended fingers, maybe roll that wrist off to the side. Just a couple more breaths on this side. And on an exhale, hands can release back down towards the legs and keep the head heavy towards the ear. And then swoop through center, chin towards chest. And opposite ear draws towards that shoulder. The arm that's below the head is going to come up and over now. Really release to gravity through the shoulders, through the head, the hands. And as you're ready, that opposite hand might come out to the diagonal for a little wiggle through the fingers, a roll of that wrist. And then same, we'll release the hands, release the head, little half moon into center. Now I know that we can lift the head without the hands, but we'll use the hands just for ease. Bring the hands up to your forehead and temples and lift that head back upright. Once upright, let the hands release, blink open the eyes. Alrighty. You can take a moment, any little stirs and sways here in your seat that call to you are welcome. I'm going to start setting myself up in our next or our first shape. And we'll be going towards a fold in butterfly. So I like to have a little support underneath my seat. We'll need some vertical support, whether that's bricks or maybe an upended pillow. You can kind of get creative with whatever you have to play with. And the toes will come together and the knees will come out wide. That support underneath the seat, if you choose to take it, will help the pelvis just tilt forward. So you shouldn't feel like you're sinking into your back pockets, but the spine is nice and long. The feet will press nice and firm together. Feel the activation through the legs. And then as you bring your hands down towards your feet, open them up like a book. You can receive some loving touch here on your feet. Maybe a little rub. Greet those muscles in the legs. And then on an inhale, let's take a few little flowing bows. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, heart leads you forward. It's a pretty big stretch here in the groin, that inner thigh, so take it easy on these first few swoops. Inhale, and bring it up. And exhale, release forward and down. Inhale, rise. Now knowing kind of what flexibility we're working with at this moment, bring in a prop or two. Have things ready to support the head. As you inhale, lengthen as always. Exhale, ease yourself down to a place to stay. Maybe that's forehead meeting a little T with bricks, or a bundled up pillow. Anything that supports you here. A nice long back. And breathe into those hips. And as always with yin, we'll stay for a few minutes. And we're always looking for that balanced place between the effort and the ease. there still might be a little bit of tapas, that inner heat of transformation. But we're not straining, and we're certainly not in pain. We're simply encouraging ourselves to stay steady, no matter what arises. For the senses and the thoughts will continue. But anchor yourself back to that intention of how you would like to practice, how you would like to show up. And if you do need to adjust at any point to rebalance, do so slowly and mindfully. It's just our general rule, I suppose. Three more breaths. And as you're ready, leave the head heavy and start your rolling up at your sacrum. Really plug that tailbone towards the earth and then lift the spine vertebra by vertebra. Walking the hands back in and up the legs. You'll come upright. Once upright, you can clear the props in front of you. Invite the knees together. We'll briefly just release the legs one way and then the other. A couple gentle twists here. Massaging those outer glutes and hips, hopefully. Just a little bit of love. Alrighty. And we'll bow down again in a little bit different variation here. We'll come onto hands and knees and prepare for a child's pose. Now, since we're in yin, there's a range as to how you can support yourself. If you feel fairly at ease with just your head and your heart, your hands towards the earth, you might take that shape. But if there's any points of tension along that journey, maybe bring in a prop or two. Maybe a support for the belly, maybe a support for the head, These are just options. You take a moment or two here to find what serves you. Before settling completely into stillness, gently sway the spine. The forehead, if it's supported, ideally it will be on something. You can rock the forehead side to side, just massaging the temples, that third eye center. And soften from that sway and be still. And as we stay here, continue to notice any unhelpful patterns, any stagnant energy. We're looking deep within. And as you feel those patterns, maybe experience a bit of that stagnant energy, recall your intention and loosen your grip on the past patterns. Invite something new, something helpful, not only to yourself, but to everyone you meet, to our world as a whole. with a few more breaths here. Reestablish your intention. And in your own timing, rise to tabletop. Might be a little stir or sway along the way as you come up to all fours. Feel free to flow. Whatever undulations, little cat-cow or sways that need to happen, let them happen. And we'll make our way to toes pose. Very simply from tabletop, all we need to do is tuck the toes beneath. And then the weight will shift back so that the glutes rest on your heels. You may need to make some little adjustments here. I always like to reach down and untuck my pinky toes. Make sure that knife edge of my foot is also getting this nice deep stretch. We're not here for long. I know this shape can be rather intense. We don't often stretch the bottoms of our feet. It's very nourishing. Just allow your attention and your breath to be received into the soles of your feet. One more breath. And slowly inhale to open your eyes if they had closed, and then we'll pitch forward. Catch your hands, and then untuck the toes and give a little swimmer kick. It's a little pat with the tops of the feet. Maybe shake out the ankles. Wonderful. I'd love to bring us into some twists before we rest. So journey onto your back body, please, and maybe you have a support beneath the head. If you do choose to, just make sure that it's a little thinner, not a big pillow. We want a nice length through the neck, even as we come down onto our backs. Once supine, draw the knees in towards the chest. Uttanasana. Oh, the snow has begun again. After a little sway side to side or compression here with the knees, we'll release toes to the ground. Knees point towards the sky. We'll pick up the hips just an inch or two and then shift them over towards the right side of your space. Knees can drop over to the left. And here, take whatever variation of a twist you would like. Maybe the knees stay staggered out. Maybe they stack on top of one another. I've chosen to guide this unsupported today. But if you do need the support to find that balanced point between effort and ease, please invite it in. As we hold these shapes, there is a possibility to cut off the energy flow. In my unique body, sometimes having my arms extended out to the side over time causes a little bit of tingling through my arm. This is the nerves just not being able to fully function. So if that happens or when that happens, just lessen the angle of the arm, maybe down to a V rather than a T. Or any other mindful adjustments you need to make to relieve that sensation of tingling or pulsating. And we'll remain just a few breaths more. And as you are ready, the feet can plant and lift the knees back in towards center. As the feet stabilize on the earth, pick up the hips, sway them to center and set them down here. Just take a moment. Breathe and center. And then we'll shift to the next side. Press the heels, lift the hips. Sway to the left. The knees drop to the right. Maybe that stagger angle. Maybe the knee comes across. Whatever variation feels nourishing and sustainable. in your body. Just a few more breaths on this side. Letting that breath flow along the spine, wringing out any lasting tensions, any lasting stagnation. Empty out here. And an inhale brings us to center. And as the hips come back into the middle of your mat, leave the feet pressing into the ground, and we'll just gently massage the sacrum here as if there were a clock face on our bellies. We'll we'll drag the heels towards the glutes. It's very slight movement. The pelvis tilts towards 12 o'clock. Then as we dig the heels in, the pelvis tilts back, that sacrum flattens, the spine flattens for 6 o'clock. 12 o'clock. I forget which way I went, 12 or 6. This is our vertical movement. And then our 3 to 9 can press into one heel and then the other. That hip crests, just rock side to side. Now imagining this clock can come from 6 to 12, 3 to 5, or even explore some rotations around the sacral area. 3 more breaths for whatever you need with this movement. And then any other final shapes or movements you'd like to do here before we rest into Shavasana, use the next minute for that. Whenever you're ready, and there's no rush, of course, but we'll make our way to Shavasana. That pillow below your head or that blanket can certainly stay. And then gather whatever other props or layers you might need to keep you cozy and comfortable here. Whenever and however you arrive here, remember your intention. And let everything else fall away. No effort, no concentration even. Trust in your practice and just be. Rest here and now. The intuition and creative intelligence within you is ready to experience the day. And having anchored yourself to your body, your breath, and this intention you wish to carry, you can now walk confidently and comfortably into your day. As you recall your intention, notice the body breathing. You can deepen that breath and allow your intention, that essence you wish to embody today, just let that flow deeper into your cells, filling you up from the toes to the crown. In your own timing, awaken your body, move and stretch. And eventually, you can roll to the side and come to a seat. We'll seal our practice with 3 rounds of Om. And as we chant, lightly meditate on the movement of your energy, coming out and being shared, and then returning inwards and just vibrating within. It's this balance. Yes. So let's breathe in, a full breath out. hands can be at the heart if you wish. Inhale. May the intention that we built and integrated today serve you, serve those you come across on your path, and may it be of greater service to our whole planet and our collective consciousness. As always, this light and life in me bows to and deeply honors that same light and life in all of you. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Do have your eyes peeled for some new videos coming out in the next week or two. We'll have one for this month, and then next week our musical mantras for November, right around the corner. But if I don't see you beforehand, again here on the stream, have a warm, safe, and happy Halloween at Samhain celebrations and everything. Another chance to reflect, hopefully. And as always, the links are down below. If you need some more practices in your life, visit the podcast. That's one of my other favorite ways to practice. Until our paths cross again, my friends, peace and love. Namaste.